Welcome to the Trades Podcast, a podcast about the business of home improvement and promoting the trades to young adults. In this podcast, we talk with business owners, educators, and professionals about the benefits, skills, and related experiences of the home improvement business. Tips to help you with being successful from entry into the trades or established business owners. In this podcast, we hope to influence some young adults that the trades as a career is a great option leading to full and prosperous life. I'm Danny Torres, an MC, DJ, and podcaster, inspiring young adults by shining light onto career opportunities in our world today.
And I'm Jeff Mudd, home improvement contractor, writer of the Millionaire Carpenter series, and podcaster.
Stay tuned to 15 to 20 minutes of insightful tips.
All right here, ladies and gentlemen, the Trades Podcast, right here recording at the Ignite BBB Podcast Studios. I am DJ Danny.
And I'm Jeff Mudd.
And Jeff, yeah, that's right, the Road Trip Podcast here, Road Trip episode.
Road Trip episode. So, yeah, I was lucky enough here earlier in the year 2022 to take a nice road trip from here to the International Builder Show in Florida. And it was great going to the show, really love that. But one of the things I always try to do when I'm on a road trip is get out and see some things, experience some stuff. And this one, we stopped at the Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico. Great place to go. Highly recommend it. I'm definitely looking forward to going back, doing the trail down into the cavern. We took the elevator this time, but that's not what I'm talking about. It's when we left the caverns to get back on the 10 East. We drove from Carlsbad Caverns down to 285 into Fort Stockton. And that stretch of the road for me was amazing. So, never been in that part of the country before, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw was at least 5 oil rigs. So, everybody's kind of seen oil rigs out in the ocean. Well, these were on land. And the amount of equipment, the height of the rigs, the activity around them was huge. The amount of space they took up for the different tanks and the pipes and different things like that to make the oil rig work.
I mean, this is stuff that you generally just see on movies or TV or on the internet and stuff, right?
So yeah, I'm getting people honking at me because I'm slowing down to take a look at this stuff. It was quite amazing to me for never seeing that in person. And so one of the things that we've seen doing that trip was not just those oil rigs, but off in the countryside. And this is all high desert. We didn't see any single-family homes or anything like that out there. It was just definitely high desert, no farms or cattle ranches, nothing like that. It was really just rolling desert hills with one of the oil rigs, but there's also oil pumps going. So everyone's probably seen those off and on in the thing where the thing kind of slowly rocks up and down. Those are all over the place. There was tanks out there that were collecting either oil or natural gas. I did a little research on it, so there's a lot of natural gas collection out there. And there's also a lot of work going out in that area to preserve the water and the water quality out there. So how they're doing that is way beyond my expertise. But just seeing everything, the amount of subcontractors, let's say, or the support construction services, there's electrical everywhere, electric grids, chain link, fencing, steel buildings, the water piping, whatever it took to do the drilling itself. There's processing out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the housing. I've seen at least 10 RV camps with full hookups, like brand new, all kinds of things out, tiny home parks out there, and the support services to keep them fed and happy and showered and all that kind of stuff. So it was really quite amazing to see all that. And like I said, when I got back to a hotel room a little bit later, I did some Googling, some research. It was 2 hours, 122 miles stretch of the highway. And like I said, I went a little slow so I could see things. And according to the Texas Economic Development Corporation, I did a little checking on their website.
Yeah.
From wind, oil, and natural gas, Texas leads the nation in producing energy as it pursues renewable sources. Texas is dominant with the energy sector since the discovery of the Spindletop oil field in 1901.
Yeah, look that one up. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, growing to a $172 billion sector today. The state's geography, natural resources, transportation infrastructure, skilled labor force, environmental research capabilities attract industry leaders from ExxonMobil and BP. I think that's British Petroleum, largest employee base in the world. Public-private sectors, there are more than 55,000 skilled clean energy workers found in Texas. And this report was out early last year, so these are probably 2020 stats. So COVID did have a little bit of impact on there. But based on what I personally seen driving through that area, it was really, like I said, amazing, thought-provoking, and leads me into a bunch of other questions about what we talk about here in the Trades Podcast.
Yeah, most definitely. And I mean, you know, I was just looking it up right now. There's even a Spindletop city in Texas, you know, so they must be obviously the staple at Texas being the leader in renewable energy and energy sources of all things. It's a big thing that it'd be a no-brainer that companies like Exxon are actually going in and looking for their resources that they have and the skilled laborers that they need in that state, right?
Yeah. So that's one thing here at the Trades Podcast. We're not making a political statement, not talking about whether the rules are right or wrong.
Right.
What we're doing is trying to identify good construction trades and opportunities for young adults, because it's something this country needs, anywhere from an oil field worker to a plumber fixing the kitchen sink, and everything in between. So
because I mean, a lot of people, when you think about, you know, oil and, you know, the and like you said, the political side of things, of whether it's good or bad, it's energy that we need. It's energy that we need. If we want to turn on our light, we have to have, you know, certain energy sources. And it's huge, like you said, that everybody contributes to this, you know, in the sense of, like you said, the type of having to have these RV parks, the chain link fences, the electrical, everything that, like, all that requires trade skilled workers to put these type of projects together.
Absolutely. And you think about that just from where you live, wherever you live. And you meaning is any listener out there. You live in a house. Hopefully. So somebody had to build that house. Somebody had to put together the infrastructure to be able to drive down the road so that you had utilities and water and electricity for that house. Those are all construction jobs. The materials that it took to build the house. There's some manufacturing involved, but it's construction workers that put it all together. So the housing industry is a huge, dominant factor here in the United States, if not globally, and we need workers that know what they're doing. It's a great career path. There's jobs out there.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, Texas is just one state too. There's bound to be other states that, you know, possibly we can find absolutely that are doing the same thing, that are providing jobs like these with, you know, options that you can go out and travel was one thing that we were talking about. You can go out and travel to these locations and be housed, be taken care of, but also getting paid to do the job that you're doing out there. And you said that you sat down with a lot of those workers too, right?
So on my road trip, Danny, we made a day or so stop in Alabama. I've never really been to Alabama, haven't seen anything, did a couple of tourist things. But at the hotel that we stopped at one of the nights, got there kind of early because I had a long drive the next day, watched a football game that night, and in the restaurant bar area we were at watching it, and there must have been a couple dozen guys come in there from working on the roads that day. and got to talk to several of them, and to a T, they were all saying they got to do the traveling during the week, go home on the weekend, so they weren't that far away from home. Mm-hmm. They were all making better money than they would doing the same job at their house. So just that aspect of traveling to where the project is was a benefit to those guys. Mm-hmm. But you think about some of the specialty trades here, high-rise crane operators, for an example. And that's one of the stories I wrote about in The Millionaire Carpenter.
Okay.
High-rise crane operators, a very specialized skill mm-hmm. in the construction trades that you can make absolutely phenomenal money on. But you got to have a skill set, not be afraid of heights, willing to climb one heck of a ladder, mm-hmm. getting to the top of that crane, being able to sit up there by yourself for hours at a time. Your lunch break is on top of the crane. But some of the benefits are that. One's credible money we talked about. Views like you would never imagine, because mm-hmm. those cranes are actually taller than the buildings in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
So unlimited potential out there in the industry. The money, even starting off to a T in just the travel I did here in the beginning of the year. Got to talk with people in the construction trades at the International Builder Show. Some of the employers out there, they're paying more per hour than they ever have before, and they're trying to stay competitive. So the employees that they do have, mm-hmm. they're giving raises, increasing the benefits to their employees.
I want to go back to the road trip. The road trip that you saw these guys at a bar, Applebee's, wherever you were. What was their age? I mean, how old did they look? Did they look like did they mention that they had been doing this they had been doing it a long time?
Really good question, Danny. I'd say most of the guys were probably in their mid-20s to 30. Mm-hmm. The supervisor didn't even look like he was the oldest guy there.
Okay.
And he still had the work clothes on, so even the supervisor was hands-on there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a young man's profession out there doing that stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, probably a pretty good, group of guys that just having to, working hard, obviously, but also, being able to go hang out with everybody that's doing the same similar thing on these type of road trips that they have to go on themselves to go out and do the jobs. And, they probably didn't seem bored, with everybody and kind of just hanging out and doing a job.
So we definitely went to the bar and we were watching some football that night.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember who was playing because I spent more time talking with the guys.
Yeah.
The wife was a little perturbed, but and we had a good time. I bought a round of pizza for a bunch of the guys on one side of the room, and they all seemed to be having a blast. I didn't hear any, my boss did this, my boss, no negative stuff at all.
Yeah.
And everybody's talking about when I get back home, this is what I want to do with it. My girlfriend and me are going to do this. Mm-hmm. Different stuff in life.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see the positive aspect of that. You go into some restaurants right now here in San Diego. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced this, Danny.
Oh, yeah.
They're short-staffed. You try to be as polite as you can as a guest. You tip well. Mm-hmm. But if you're sitting close to the kitchen, you can hear that little gossips going in the back. Pour me, pour this,
Yep.
This,
Yeah. No, you're. I mean, trust me, I have been in that situation before. Even though short-staffed, is one thing. I've worked in the food and beverage industry for a good 6-7 years, and it happens all the time. With any space like that, especially in like the office setting, also. But right now with my DJ business and the entertainment side of things, I mean, you're having a good time. There's no reason that you can not be happy. But in the same sense, I would see the same thing with the construction or the guys that you were talking with, because they're doing something that ultimately they're getting paid enough that they're super happy to be there.
absolutely
is one thing.
Yeah, I heard one guy's talking about, I need to talk to the boss about, can I get to try some particular piece of equipment that I've never heard of? But that meant an advancement and a pay raise for him, that if he could conquer that skill. So I think that goes across the board. If you have a good attitude, you're willing to learn, that's how you advance.
Yeah, and it's something that we've always talked about, where, these type of introductions to these type of jobs, it's a lifelong career. It's something that you can continuously use, and know that if you want to fall back onto those type of jobs where you're leaving town for a little bit, but you're gonna get taken care of, you're housed, you're getting paid well, and you get to go back with a good amount of money, then knowing that that's a career path that you can continue with, or use the skilled trade that you learned from that particular job and move it to something that's similar to your hometown or another city, another state, because there's bound to be jobs everywhere right now that are looking for skilled laborers right now.
Absolutely. We just had a guest on a while back, Chris Heller, the home seller here for people in San Diego. He's done 4,000 real estate transactions, and I didn't get to ask him about flipping houses or doing investment work.
Yeah.
But I've dabbled in that a little bit. I've been around a lot of that doing my termite inspection career. And a person that has the ability to work with his hands, whether he's a plumber or an electrician or whatever, when you bring those natural talents home to an investment property that needs fixing, you have control over your life. So you can add in real estate investments on the side to your construction experience and have complete control over financial future beyond just your paycheck or your career. It's one of the things I wanted to point out, and make sure that as a young adult, when you're thinking about a career, the construction trades gives you more tools in life than just your job.
Yeah, and it's for everybody. It's a diverse opportunities and roles that you can find within the trades, because it's I mean, we've had women on the show that have had tremendous success through the trades, working with companies and other fields like that, because there's bound to be other opportunities out there that you can continue the skill that you learned within these jobs and move it forward to others.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the private sector of the construction fields, you learn your craft, then you learn your business, then you learn business management. The ability to own your own company in the construction fields is probably one of the easiest fields to get in and own your own company at and have great success at. Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to kind of enlighten on was your daily work life when you're in the construction field. It's not a desk job.
Yeah.
So if you are a type of person that really enjoyed sitting in the classroom for that 55 minutes of class instruction, then a desk job in your professional career is likely to suit you. If it drove you nuts and all you could do is look out the window thinking, I got to go fishing or I got to go work on my truck.
Yeah.
The construction trades, gives you the sunshine, gives you the outdoor views, and it allows you to work with other like-minded people that are the same way for you.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's important, because we've talked about it a lot, and it continues to get brought up, not just with our podcast, but I hear it all the time, is culture. The culture behind it, who you surround you with is who you do business with, and how you manifest exactly what it is that you want in life. And if you're not in the right culture, then you're practically holding yourself back. on your full potential.
You're holding yourself back. You're probably not as happy as you could be. A lot of benefits to being out working in the sunshine or the rain.
Mm-hmm.
But being outdoors itself, to watch something that you started building come to completion, as opposed to being just a person doing one little step of a long process and never get to see the completion, I think is huge to a lot of people's inner self wellness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's key. It's super important because, trust me, everybody goes through it not knowing exactly who they are or what they want to be. Everybody does. And, unless you're Michael Jordan or something, or Tiger Woods, training since they were kids. But, everybody goes through that moment of like, am I in the right place in the, where I want to be in life? And being able to understand that. And once you do understand that, like you said, the culture side of things, just fall in place. And if you don't know, go ahead and try it out. Talk to anybody that we've had on the podcast. They've been super friendly to know that you can reach out to them and see what opportunities there are. Have conversations with the managers that we've had, the business owners on the podcast before. Talk to Jeff and I, because this is important. Because if you are serious about trying to go into the trades, looking for more opportunities, different career path, better pay, better environment, the trades has a lot of opportunities.
Absolutely. So I sat in with a board meeting yesterday on the Building Industry Association here in San Diego. And one of the things they were talking about was, besides the culture, was how to retain and attract employees. And one of the things to the T that most of the business owners in the room were talking about was a clearly defined career path.
Mm-hmm.
So smaller companies, you can definitely learn a craft, work hand on side by side with the owner and learn the craft. Medium-sized companies, you can quickly advance because of the ability to learn different trades quickly. They're not as segregated as much, say, as a home builder that does track homes, and you get put in a very defined spot on a larger builder. But even with those, there's a career path that can take you from using your hands and actually building to managing a group of people that are using their hands and still jump in there and do it with them, to a project manager where you have a full understanding of the process, the sequence of events that need to take place to get to a completion or the finished product, to running a firm or starting your own company. I think the trades just offer so many opportunities for wherever you're at in a construction career or in your personal life.
Yeah, it's perfect. So let us know, like, what would you conclude everything about your road trip, Jeff? How would you define it? Even though you didn't see yourself running into everything that you did, but what was your end thought on your whole road trip?
A good question, Danny. So one of the things that, like I said personally on my road trips, I always try to not just drive from point A to point B on the major highway. I try to get off the road, try to stop in little stores, try to see the countryside from a different perspective. And one thing I can tell you from hands down, I don't care where it is in this country, there's opportunity, there is help wanted signs, there is a need for people in the construction industry.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's great. So, glad that we were able to touch base on your road trip. And, I know there's going to be plenty more that are coming that you've been traveling to. And I think right now we're in the month of May, but next month you said you're going to be heading somewhere also?
Yeah, actually, heading to Portland here at the end of June, and then up to Seattle, hooking up with my sister, and going to show her a little bit of the coastline on the way back.
Nice.
So
Nice.
It's going to be a great little trip.
Look forward to hearing a little bit more about that road trip and see what you find, because I don't get enough of those, and I'll go off of what you tell me.
Yeah. So one thing that tradespodcast.com is going to be offering here real soon, later this fall, is a video with some of the things we're talking about. It's not just hearing about it on the podcast, but you'll be able to go to the website and see some of the videos and stuff that explain things in a little more depth. Some in-person interviews, some training schools. Looking forward to doing some of that.
Yeah, some workshops are here that we're going to be brewing up also for everybody too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Trade Podcast is growing to meet the needs of our listenership.
Yeah, and always feel free to reach out to us if there's any questions or anything that you may need, or something that you want to hear a little bit more about. Feel free to reach out to us, Trades Podcast. We're on Instagram, the Trades Podcast. Also, Jeff Mudd, LinkedIn. He's very active. And DJ Danny here on LinkedIn also. Metric DJ Danny. You can always look it up like that. You will find us. But, of course, reach out to us. And right here, thetradespodcast.com. We want to give a shout-out to the Ignite BBB podcast studio for allowing us to record here. And a big shout-out to UTech Serves SEO for helping us out with a lot of our back-end side of things for the website, and more to come. So thank you so much. Appreciate everybody. Hope you're having a good day. Enjoy it.
All right. Thank you.